Good morning, students. Uh, in this class, now I am going to explain about the introduction of IR spectroscopy. Okay, what another name of IR spectroscopy is vibrational spectroscopy. Since here, let us suppose this is a molecule. Okay, right. Generally, this electron can transmit it from this place to this place. This is called what? Transition. Okay, during this transition, let us suppose this molecule undergoes like this, which is called, this is called as vibration. Okay, or sometimes the molecule may undergo stretching, or sometimes it may undergo elongation. Okay, sometimes the molecule we may, of course this is a pen, I can't bend this, but let us suppose is there any spring, so that spring you can bend. Okay, so those are called vibrations. So that when you compress and if you leave that one, what will happen? Vibrations will take place in that spring. So those vibrations are the key role to study about this IR spectroscopy. Hence another name of IR spectroscopy is vibrational spectroscopy. Then what is the use of this IR spectroscopy, which is used to know about the information about functional groups? IR spectroscopy is also one of the example for absorption spectroscopy. Means here the molecule during this vibrational transitions, how much of light is observed from this IR region? That is the main point for us. And what is the criteria? Very very important point you need to write in the exams definitely is compounds must have dipole moment. What is meant by dipole moment, I will explain in this video later. Then the natural frequency of vibration of the molecules must equal to the frequency of the incident radiation. Just now I told you, right, there are some vibrations takes place in the molecule. The frequency means what? Number of vibrations takes place per second. Okay, so that frequency should be equal to the electromagnetic radiation what we are sending from outside. Okay, if those are equal, then this vibration transition takes place from V is equal to 0 level to V is equal to 1 level. Okay, right. Now what if, we will see what is the range, wavelength range or frequency range for this IR spectroscopy. During the study of electronic spectroscopy, we studied the range in terms of wavelength. But here we are going to study the range in terms of wave number. This is called near IR region, and this is called mid IR region, and this is called far IR region. Okay, we know when we are moving from left to right, the wavelength increases, but the energy as well as wave number are moving like this, increases from right to left. Okay, this is 0.8 microns, 2.5, 1.5, and this is 200 microns. In terms of wavelength I am telling. Here I am writing in terms of wave number. 50 centimeter inverse, 667 centimeter inverse, 4000 and 12,500 centimeter inverse. Okay, now I'll show one example to you. Let wavelength is 0.8 microns. Okay, if you convert that into meters, it will become 10 to the power of minus 4. What is wave number? We know wave number means 1 by lambda, that is 1 by 0.8 into 10 to the power of minus 4. This you may write it as 10 power 5 by 8, that is nothing but 12,500. So in such a way 0.8 equal to 12,500, 2.5 means 4,000, 1.5 means 667, 200 microns means 50 centimeter inverse. Okay, so the total IR region is divided into 3 categories. Again this mid IR region is divided into 2 categories. One is fingerprint region, fingerprint region, and second one is functional group region. Fingerprint region is from 667 to 1500 centimeter inverse. See, 667 to 1500 centimeter inverse. Of course, the functional group is from 1500 to 4000 centimeter inverse. Generally, all these IR studied functional groups are we are studying from mid IR region, not from near IR region, not from far IR region. See here, functional group region, most of the compounds can be detected in this particular range. Later we will study about this fingerprint region, okay, because which is a very important topic. And the next one is what would be the spectra? What would be the spectra? The spectra we drawn here taking wave number on x-axis and percentage transmittance on y-axis. So the graphs are like this. You will get the graph like this. Okay. I think you remember that in the electronic spectroscopy, the graph we drawn between wavelength and absorption. There you will get the peaks like this. But here we are drawing taking wave number on x-axis and percentage transmittance on y-axis. Then the graph will be like ulta. Okay, right. Now we will see what is meant by this dipole moment. I already told to you which is a very important point in this IR spectroscopy. So here first we will see what is meant by dipole moment. Dipole moment is represented with the letter mu. Nothing. Suppose if you take a HCl. Because chlorine is more electronegative, the bonded electrons are shifted more towards chlorine, so that chlorine will get negative charge and hydrogen will get positive charge. So see here, two different poles are there, right? So the dipole is created here. Depending upon this one, what will happen is sometimes, let us suppose A and B are like this. Okay. Now what I did is, I did a what is that? Elongation. Means like this. A, B. I just elongated both of them. Again I elongated both of them. A and B. So during this elongation, what is changing here? Bond length is changing. What is changing here? Bond length is changing. When the bond length changes, because this positive and negative charges are far away from each other, then the dipole moment will be reduced. Okay, so that's why dipole moment is depends upon the distance. Let this distance is or not, depends upon the bond length. And moreover, suppose if you take HCl, because chlorine is more electronegative, here the negative cloud is more towards chlorine. Suppose if you took HF, because fluorine is more electronegative than chlorine, most amount of negative charge is towards fluorine comparative to chlorine. So the development of charges, means how much of charge is developed, also decides the dipole moment. So that's why dipole moment is the product of charges developed as well as the distance between the two atoms. So that's why mu is equal to R naught into Q. And moreover, this dipole moment is a vector quantity. Means it depends upon magnitude as well as it depends upon the direction. Suppose if you took in rotational spectroscopy, there even in rotational spectroscopy also, the criteria to show a molecule rotational spectroscopy is the compound master should have dipole moment. But here what will happen is the rotations takes place. Means let us suppose these are A and B. So like this, like this, like this, like this. Okay, rotations takes place. So because dipole moment is a vector quantity means it depends upon direction as well as it depends upon the magnitude. Here what is changing? Magnitude is changing in IR spectroscopy. In IR spectroscopy, what is changing? Magnitude is changing. Hence, mu is changing, isn't it? But whereas in rotational spectroscopy, magnitude won't change, means the bond length between A and B does not changes. But what is changing in rotational spectroscopy? Direction is changing, hence mu is changing. That is the difference between IR spectroscopy and rotational spectroscopy. Now hope you understood about this dipole moment. Next is just what is this vibrations? Ma'am is telling about vibrations. What is meant by this vibrations? Just that we will see here. Let us suppose this is chlorine and this is what? Hydrogen. Chlorine, hydrogen. Okay. Now I am supplying some energy. Let us suppose. Okay, right. This is energy. By applying some energy here, okay, so that what I am doing is I am just compressing H towards this chlorine. I am just compressing this H towards chlorine. What will happen? See what is meant by this internuclear distance? The internuclear distance between H and Cl is fixed. Means what? The outer electrons of this chlorine and outer electrons of this hydrogen repulsions are same as the attractions between outer electrons of chlorine and the nucleus of this hydrogen, as well as the nucleus of this chlorine and the outer electrons of this hydrogen. Hope you know this concept from this molecular orbital theory. So when you compress this hydrogen towards the chlorine, what will happen? Repulsions are increased between the electrons of this H as well as electrons of this chlorine. So that what will happen? To overcome that repulsions, hydrogen will move away. When hydrogen is coming towards here, what will happen? Attractions will get decreased. Attractions తగ్గిపోతున్నాయి. So automatically what will do chlorine? Chlorine will attracts this H more towards itself. So as the energy increases, hydrogen is coming more close towards this. So again repulsions are increased so that hydrogen will move like this. But here the attractions are minimizing, so H will come more close towards chlorine when the energy increased. Because the repulsions are more, the H will move like this. So means what? This is the original position. As the energy increases, the hydrogen is coming towards chlorine, going away, coming towards chlorine, going away, coming to, of course my thumb won't change. Chlorine position is fixed, but this H is coming towards chlorine and going back. Okay, so like this, these vibrations will causes the this vibrations is causing the IR spectroscopy. These vibrational changes, the frequency of these vibrational changes, if is same as the IR frequency change, then the transition of electrons takes place from lower level to higher level. Here we need to know one point about Hooke's law. About Hooke's law means what? The restoring force. See here what I am doing. I am compressing in this direction. This is the internuclear distance. I am compressing in this direction, but it is going in opposite direction. So the restoring force is proportional to negative charge of bond length. Okay, let us suppose X amount it is displaced, but the displacement is happening in which direction? Negative direction. We want to compress this towards chlorine, but what is happening? It is going back in this direction. So that's why you need to put the symbol negative. To remove that one, F is equal to minus Kx. What is F? F is called restoring force. What is K? K is called force constant. What is X? X means displacement. Okay. So this is actually physics related topic, Hooke's law. Okay. So this is the basic introduction of this IR spectroscopy.